Welcome back, everybody. So this is going to be a quick update video for you guys on SMH. Also, we're going to talk about MU, Micron, and SNDK. So before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to go above and beyond and get all types of daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, long term, and all kinds of short term setups, also definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it. So SMH, we saw that early morning, Monday morning, gapping down all the way down to, I believe it was here right around at $390. But today was a completely different story in the market because before we retail traders, investors were sleeping and they woke up early. Big buyers, they woke up early and everything was pretty much gone. Now, what the heck is going on? SMH is a really sloppy chart, and you can see we're just going straight up. There is no significant pullback, there is no correction, nothing. We're just going up, up, and away. So here on SMH, what happened today and what can happen in next couple of sessions? If you look at my screen, we do have earnings coming out from AMD, which could be a factor tomorrow night. So that's one thing to be watching for, especially tomorrow night on AMD, that can actually move this stock as well. Now, as of right now, what's happening here? You can see today we came back up to 412 and some change. And what happened? We touched 5-day moving average. We touched this trend line from this low and we got a rejection. We did not even hold that previous all-time high right here as a support, which is at 409, and we closed at 407.97, up 1.12%. So moving forward, going into tomorrow, of course, like I said, AMD's earning can play an effect here on SMH. But if the earnings are good, we might see another all-time high here on SMH. But I think very soon, even if we see that on SMH, a brand new all-time high, it's not gonna be by too much. Maybe we go over 420, possibly up to let's say 426. But I think it's gonna come back down later on, and we'll see a correction on it. So if we cannot clear 409, definitely you're going to see a pullback down to 3992, right down here, right about 396.63. 20-day moving average, and I think we saw 390 last night. Futures market Sunday night, we saw 390, so we could see that, and there is a gap just below that, and I think it's gonna get down here on SMH, and this massive move at some point it's gonna get faded, just like what you're seeing on silver and gold. What's happening? Nobody's giving a crap right now. It cannot even go up like $5. It was going up $10-15 every day, right? So SMH here is doing pretty much the same thing. Same thing goes for that stock. MU and SNDK had another massive run today, but the pay, we'll talk about it, guys. We'll talk about it. And just watch SMH here. If this thing actually cannot get over 409 and then 413, we could be pulling back into that 400 zone and maybe even down to the 20-day 396.63. And then this gap comes into play right here, just under 390, which can act as a support. All right, so MU was actually down in futures market, I think about 4%, trading somewhere around $390. And boy, oh boy, this thing took off right after opening. Now, again, when it comes to things getting really overbought and frothy, yeah, it can run. But at some point, just like you're seeing on silver and gold, you're not gonna find buyers. And I think this is one of the stocks out there that's actually gonna be very soon. We'll find in that situation just like gold and silver. And you can see today's move was huge, but we did not take out previous high. As a matter of fact, this was one of the best play we played on Friday. And this thing, I think I played twice on Friday. First was at 451. I got puts, and then I sold somewhere here at 430. Then this thing went back up again, and I got some more puts, and then we actually closed all the way down at 414. I think we went down to that gap, and we did fill that gap, 416 gap. And now what happened today? Well, it was supposed to be a gap down and crap, but we opened pretty much where we closed, and from there MU took off once again. So I'm not gonna go to that trend line below here. There is another one, but this is the uptrend that we're holding that from these lows down here, 227, 220. And you can see the last time we actually touched it, it was right here. And since then, not even a touch. So even if this thing pulls back all the way down to, let's say, 400, that would be still up massively and just going to be a normal pullback within this uptrend. Nothing is going to be broken. Nothing will actually get hurt, and it's totally going to be fine. Is it going to happen? Absolutely, that's going to happen. Now, people see stock going up. I mean, this is a big mover now. This stock used to move $3 4 maybe $7 the most a day, but now it's moving 20 30 even $50 a day. So this is a big mover now. You're getting a lot more volume, a lot more volatility. So just because this thing goes up does not mean that technicals are wrong and it's not going to work out. I heard the same thing with silver and gold. Oh, it's just going to go up even more and more and more. What happened to the biggest pumper, the Tom Lee and then Michael Saylor? What's happening? All of them are red. These people were just pumping things up, and what happened. So same thing goes for silver and gold. Even though they're not the same product, this thing is also extremely overbought, trading at an extreme level, and there is no signs of any significant correction or even a day or two pullback, some consolidation here like we did before. It just going straight up. So I think that pullback will come. It depends if you're just impatient and you just want to collect premium immediately after shorting, or you want to buy the dip and you want the dip immediately. The stock is definitely not coming down that way. So you have to wait for things to play out. There will be, time where it's not going to find a lot of buyers, and you're going to see selling into selling and more selling, and that way it's going to get that correction, or at least I would say a $40 downside, at least to retest the trend line and close the gap right here at 398. Now going into tomorrow's session, watch out. If we get some sort of a pullback, there will be support at 427. There will be resistance right here at 443. You can see rejection there today. If we can clear that, we might be going back and retesting 455, which was the previous all-time high from last Friday. Now, if this thing does not come down here at 426 and moves higher, it can definitely hit another all-time high. But I think if this thing comes back and takes out the 5-day moving average, 426.8, we could be pulling into this 411.74. That's key support around, I would say, 412. Underneath that, that opens the door for a move down to 398 to 400 to close this gap. And you can see there was a rejection here, there was a rejection here, and the trend line is here. So that is going to act as a support unless we get a massive, and trust me when I say this, you can go and look at SLB. It's the similar pattern, exactly like this. And then we had a massive gap down, and I think it's trading like this is the 50-day moving average, and now it's trading here when it comes to SLB. So yes, this thing is going up. And why? Because the same news coming out like 20 times a day. Oh, there is a chip shortage, right? Memory shortage, chip shortage, and just the same news over and over. And these, CEOs and insiders are selling the heck out of it. And who's buying? Well, retails are buying, piling in here, trying to buy more and more. So, uh, AMU definitely it's due for that. But again, like I said, if you're extremely bullish at all time high, like Tom Lee buying, Ethereum at 4K, well, go ahead and have at it and get some AMU here at 450. All right, so on SNDK, it's up another 15.5% today and still going, guys. Look at this. Another all-time high even after closing. And this thing here today was pretty much came back up here at Friday's high. So this could be considered as a double top, but nothing is confirmed unless we go down from here and we take out the neckline, which is nowhere near the neckline. So going into tomorrow's session, if this thing takes out 677, I would say here, then watch out for a little bit more continuation, possibly towards that 700 mark to 708. But if it comes back below and stays below 677, we could see a double top forming here. In that case, we gapped up today, easily can come down here just like we did on Friday, closing that entire gap. And that's going to be a massive $100+ move to the downside right here down to this gap, 579, and possibly heading lower down to this support, 546 even into the 50-day moving average right here. But when you look at the daily time frame, you can see there is strong support at the 5-day 546, but only if that gives up, you're gonna see it drop down to 507.62 and maybe into the 20-day. But this is another stock that is running really high without any pullback, anything. I mean, look at this. It's almost $700 per share. But when you look at this, it was just like 28 bucks just a couple of months ago, guys, not even a year. So it's pathetic to see these types of scams out there in the market. I'm not going to call this anything but a scam because I don't care how good the earnings are and what's happening behind the scenes. These types of moves usually fades, and we have seen those before, and I think this is going to do the same thing as well. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.